Reunited, and it feels so good. Welcome back from the bye, everyone, with DeMarco Farr, Maurice Jones-Drew. I am JB Long. This is Between the Horns, presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers. The Rams are 5-2, and after a week to rest and recover and enjoy that blowout win over the Jags in London, now they turn their attention to the second half and the Saints. What's up, fellas?
What's up, man? You are truly amazing. You slept the entire way back from London.
I didn't sleep the entire way back. I didn't sleep the entire way back.
Unbelievable how he does that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I knew it was going to be a tough flight. I watched a movie and a half, took a nap, thought we'd be here. We had 2 more hours left. I said, oh, yeah, we're in the air. I can sleep.
He drifted back to sleep. I'm so jealous. Yes.
DeMarco had the window. I had the aisle. I didn't have to get up to let him out once. So, I mean, you talk about clutch performances.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
JB was gone.
Question.
Neck pillow.
Yeah,
gone,
you gotta
sleep.
be prepared.
I loved it. I'm not getting up. Oh yeah.
Any highlights from your time away?
Yeah, rest.
Yeah. Yeah, flag football.
Okay,
we're
great.
playing. We're winning.
How is
my
that?
daughter broke from 60, Maurice.
That's what I'm talking about.
A little end around.
Yeah.
A rush
so
attempt.
what did she do when she scored?
She handed the ball back to the official.
That's terrible.
That's what we coach in our house.
No, that's terrible.
That's Barry Sanders' ball.
No,
Come
Barry
on.
Sanders. No one wants to watch that anymore. We got to celebrate.
The fun is in the winning.
No, the fun is when the scoring. You getting across that line so hard, especially in flag. There's 15 other people out there in your way or trying to get you. You got to find a way to make a long run like that. You got to spike the ball or kick it.
We
something.
celebrated at the restaurant. That's where you celebrate. There you
so
go.
Bad. You're teaching our youth the wrong way.
I'd say how I spent my off week. I watched Minnesota lose, and Dallas,
Yes,
and Chicago, and Carolina, and Atlanta, and Washington. That playoff bubble got real soft last weekend. That was kind of nice to see. And then, of course,
you watched the Niners lose too.
I was leaving that for you, my friend.
Yeah, It was a beautiful weekend for sure. Super excited though when you look at kind of where the Rams are, and kind of how teams are playing too. I think that's the most important thing. Winning is obviously number one, but it's how you win, right, or how you lose. These teams aren't playing really good football right now that we saw. Washington's not playing really good football with Daniels being hurt. Dallas didn't look good against the Broncos. I thought the Niners they stunk it up a little bit. I thought that Houston, I thought they did better against Houston's defense, but they really didn't do anything in that regard. And so it seems like teams aren't playing good football right now.
Everybody has problems. I mean, we get so caught up in looking at the Rams, but everybody has their own issues, and everybody's trying to figure it out. And I think teams are starting to round into form now. And I think what we saw in Jacksonville out of the Rams, I think that might have been the closest they've come to playing a complete game in all 3 phases. So it's trending in the right direction. And like you said, we'll see what happens during the second half after the bye week. But it was nice to see, I guess, the NFC kind of come back to you after you're coming off a big win.
So I'll ask you what 5-2 feels like, especially in the context of where the Rams were in 23 and 24 in just a second. But to color in 5-2, all 5 wins against the AFC, 0-2 against the NFC. So they've beaten the wrong teams, if you'll allow it. That being said, those 2 losses each came on the final play of the game in Philadelphia and against the Niners at home. So, relative to being 3 games below 500 at your bye the last couple of years, mission accomplished. The Rams got off to a faster start this year, no question. But because they don't have a conference win yet, much less a division win, at 5-2, it still feels like there's a long way to go.
Oh, yeah, there is a long way to go, a long way to go. But the arrow's pointing up in certain areas. If you go back and look at last year and how they started, and then if you kind of compare that to this year, to me the difference has been protection for Matthew Stafford. You've given up 11 sacks total. He is near the top. He is on an MVP pace, and your O-line is doing a great job. Only 4 sacks allowed on the road. Think about that. You went to Philly. You went to Tennessee. When Tennessee, the best thing about them was their defense. Only 4 sacks allowed on the road. You gave up 1, I think, in London, if you want to count that as a road game, which it is. So they've been performing well. Matthew Stafford has been performing well behind them. So, and I thought in Jacksonville was probably their best performance. So the arrow's pointing up. And this defense, if you go back to last year and look at some of your notes, we said the lessons they learned from 24 will benefit them in 25. They're starting not to waste opportunities. When they have a chance for a knockout shot or to get off the field, they're doing it and they're making plays. So I think this defense, for where the NFC is now and what you've gone through, I think you've set yourself up for a pretty good second half.
Well, I also think this, too. If you look at some of the teams that you're seeing in the NFC, there's a lot of injuries starting to happen. Saquon's a little banged up. A.J. Brown's out with Philly. McCaffrey is still running well, but you see he's kind of slowed down a little bit after having a big game against the Falcons. And there's just some things are starting to happen where the Rams on the other side, they're getting healthier. Kind of like 24. They got healthy around this time. They were able to make that jump. I thought they handled, though, this year, you talked about the protection, the not having Havenstein and not having
Steve Avila.
Steve Avila, you were able to manage that a lot better this year than you were last year. Some of that was with the running game, some of that's with using tight ends, some of that's doing some different things to get the ball out quicker, and also taking your shots and having max protection. But I thought the Rams managed it better this year. Same injuries I thought happened last year, but you just managed it better this year, which, again, you learn from that. And then going forward, I look at the schedule, and again, I have a bunch of Niner fans, and I'm looking at their schedule like, godly, like, that's crazy down the stretch how that looks. But I want to play contenders. I want to play teams that will possibly play in the playoffs. I want to have that confidence going in. And I think, again, the Rams' health is going to be a big part of that as well. And as long as they can continue to play really good football and keep getting better, and we'll talk about the depth in which they have with tight end and wide receiver and running back. Those things are going to come into play. The depth that you're adding at cornerback, the defensive line depth, the linebacker depth, all those things are going to come into play here very soon. And so it's important now that those guys got those quality reps throughout that first half of the season, because now you're in the second season, right? And that second season is about playing your best ball and being as efficient as possible.
We know what next week is. You mentioned the Niners. If the Rams want to defend their division crown, that's a must-win. And you got to be careful not to look past Sunday. I get it. This week, to me, is about building in some playoff cushion. There's a world where we wake up on Monday and the Rams are 2 games clear in the loss column of any real serious competition on that wild card bubble. I get that making a wild card appearance is not the goal for this team. I'm just saying at the midway point, that's where they stand. What'd you make with the trade deadline approaching of their acquisition of Roger McCreary this week to bolster their corner depth?
So I called you about this, and we missed calls.
I know. I wasn't screening you.
No, you weren't. No, I know you were busy and I was busy because we were playing phone tag. I personally thought that it was gonna be a big splash, right? A Jalen Ramsey type of guy is what in my mind I was thinking, because if you look at the time when the Rams won the Super Bowl, Aaron Donald was there. You have that in 4 or 5 guys on your defensive line that can rush and get to the quarterback. You're missing that lockdown corner where you can shade the other side. Now you're good to go. I don't want to say I questioned it. I know you needed depth. I just didn't know how good this kid is, right? I have to wait and see, so I want to kind of reserve my critique or my thought about him until I see him playing this system. But we played Tennessee. I didn't see him on the field.
7 tackles. He had 7 tackles. He's a good player. It's a guy they know. They had him at the Senior Bowl. They know a lot about him.
That's not good if your corner has 7 tackles. That means the ball's getting caught.
But I mean, he's solid. He's solid, and he can play inside and out. So I think he's a guy that fits well. He'll probably get a lot of run. We'll see.
Where, outside? Because he's been playing.
You're not giving up Q.
Played outside.
Legs balling.
He played outside, played inside. He's a complete corner. He's, what do you call those guys? He's kind of like a Kobe Durant type, where you can put him just about anywhere and be effective.
Who was the kid we drafted a couple years ago?
You're talking like jack of all trade, master of none so far in his career, but he's a high-end second-round talent who's maybe not in the best environment in Tennessee.
Right. I don't know what Tennessee's doing or what their mindset is, but he's a guy that they liked. He's a guy that started against the Rams. He's the guy that you could plug in almost right away. So he may not have the shutdown ability, but he's healthy and he can play.
It costs you next to nothing.
What was the kid we drafted a couple years ago? Same build, athletic, from like a small school. Remember, he ended up being a gunner. We drafted him to kind of be an athletic corner. He looked like Jalen Ramsey, athletic, like body type wise.
Are you talking about Robert Rochelle?
Robert
Rochelle. Oh my gosh.
And that's what I see with this kid, is that he has that body type. You just got to hope the game translates. Now, this is my only concern is if you're on a championship run, right? And I'm not saying this kid or can or not do it. I just want to make sure I'm saying that to our fans. I don't know if he can or can't do it, but when you made that trade for Jalen Ramsey, we knew what it was about.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I knew what you were doing.
And I think our audience knows what you're talking about, where you come back from London at 5-2 with your best performance of the year. The Falcons take a loss. That extra first-round pick is looking like some real trade capital. And look, there's still a week to go before the deadline. It could still happen. But the sense that I'm getting, and I don't know anything about anything, I'm just reading tea leaves here and I'm role-playing. I get the sense that the way they're playing right now and the way their quarterback is playing right now at age 37, while you could use that as license to step on the gas and go all in again in a 2021-like fashion, I wonder if behind the scenes they're not saying, how about 2 or 3 bites at this apple?
I can see that.
How about if Stafford plays 38 and maybe 39 and we get him and Sean McVay in the ring with this ascending defense? And yeah, I would love to see Matthew go out with confetti in his hair and ride off into the sunset.
No, I wouldn't.
It'd be fun.
I wouldn't want that. I want what you're talking about. Stay longer.
Right.
Don't leave me.
Does it look
Hold
like
on.
he's ready to retire?
Don't leave me.
Hold on. A lot of good choices here.
Yeah.
But lifting the Lombardi in Santa Clara?
Oh, goodness.
But don't leave. Dude, let's do that and then let's do it again. Let's run it back.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so you're saying yes
yeah,
and.
Yeah. Well, so in my mind, it's this defense is playing at an all-time high in the front seven. They're all over the place. You do need help on the back end, right? And if you're going to beat Philadelphia, you can't have A.J. Brown do what he did in the second half of that game. You can't have Kendrick. You can't have, but yeah, you're right, but almost, right? You can't have Kendrick Bourne go for 140 yards in those games. You just, those things can't happen.
You almost beat them too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Even
like,
with
so,
that, right.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you could stop that, then it's a completely different deal.
Well, what if you could hold the fort until Keller Witherspoon comes back?
Yes.
Which is
I think
maybe
that's
a month
awesome
away.
too. I think I think as well. But to me, it's just you're gonna have to have a superstar somewhere on this defense at that position. The game is the rules are for them to pass, and you're gonna have to be able to cover these dudes, and you can't give up third and 39 and give a 12-yard catch. You just can't do that and stay on the field. That's what we saw in Philly, and then also you can't give up a 5-yard catch and the guy run for 15 yards on third and 8. You see what I'm saying? Like, so something has to give in these situations. I'm talking about the championship mindset.
No, I think it's great for conversation.
Yeah,
because on paper, the Rams have been a top 5 defense, maybe in a top 3 defense.
Oh, yes, for sure.
But for those of us who have lived every down in and down out and speaking to our audience, I think there's a lot of caveats to that. There's but which top-tier offense have you played? And what about the second half in Philadelphia, some of the plays that you've mentioned? What about the 49ers practice squad coming in here and getting after you in the first half on those early drives? So there's a lot of that there.
And we still haven't seen JSN and Sam Darnold.
That's what I'm saying.
Torching the league right now.
The toughest is still to come.
Right. And so to me, I just think, again, I'm like you. I have no idea what's going on or I'm just going how I feel and what I see. After how they played against the Jaguars and seeing them dominate that game. And they have some talent, some athletic dudes offensively, and they did an awesome job. But if you are going to have to face, let's just say if you're going to have to face a Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl or the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl with 17 weapons that can catch.
Or Tampa Bay's offense.
Tampa Bay,
or Seattle's or Detroit's.
All these guys that are getting, you're going to have to be able to cover on that back end and tackle on that back end.
There's also the future to plan for. And
there is.
Oh, yeah.
And whether or not Matthew is in it, you're going to have to pay some guys very soon. And so that draft capital, if they do preserve it in this next week, is going to be utilized to get your next tackle of the future, your next corner, and some other things so that you can – I don't know. I just wonder if there's a world where they're planning to build – a roster like Philadelphia's or Detroit.
Right.
Pick your favorite roster.
Now
in the
we
league.
love those draft picks.
A more complete, exactly, draft-driven and fortified.
It's funny because when you talk about paying people, I just saw Detroit paid like the 8th guy over $100 million. It's like how and where we get this money from, right? I think there's ways to manipulate the cap. I do understand what you're saying though by using those draft picks because again. There's nothing better than having a great player on a rookie contract, right? There's nothing better than that. So I understand that part as well.
Especially as Puka and Verse and others come off their rookie contract.
Right. But I just, I think it's the fan in me that wants the Rams to like blow this year out of the water. You know what I mean? It's the being attached to this team and seeing and tasting that success a couple years ago, where I want that caviar back. Like I want those oysters and I want that back, right? We were close last year. We almost went to the steakhouse, but we didn't get there. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get there. So now I'm like, man, I'm hungry. Like, you know what I mean? And so as a fan, I understand because we obviously we interact with fans all the time. I understand, and again, I'm not saying that this won't work or it will. I have no idea. I think that was a great opportunity to see if that worked out. It's shown flashes. It just hasn't been as consistent as you want it to be. I thought he tackled awesome in London, where he struggled with that early in the year. You just hope that this is either a better version of that, because again, I don't know what corners are available either. No one knows who's available at this point and how much it's going to cost to get a guy. But you also I know it's going to take a superstar to help.
Do you want to add some first half thoughts on defense, or you want to migrate over to offense?
Well, I think the front, and I'll keep banging this drum. I think that Byron Young and Jared Verse are playing at all pro level, both of them. Just one is getting all the numbers. The other one is causing the havoc. And shout out to Josiah Stewart as well. He doesn't look like a mismatched shoe when he goes out there. He looks like a guy that plays major reps. And Nate Landman has been an absolute revelation for the Rams, and pursuit, his leadership, everything. So I think this defense, if you're just healthy and you're credible in the back end with the rush you're getting, the pressure you're getting, and you continue to stop the run, I think that is the best antidote to any quarterback receiver duo in the league, is getting pressure on that guy. So we'll see if that works out. But flipping over to offense, like I said, when you guys were talking about Matthew Stafford, when you watch him on tape, and you always start with 37-year-old Matthew Stafford, or we make jokes about how old he is. When he's got that helmet on and in uniform, you can't tell how old he is. He looks like prime Stafford, and he is an absolute load in the red zone, what he's doing to you. So I can't wait for this weekend. There's going to be a high-level chess match out there. Brandon Staley versus Matthew Stafford, especially when they get into the red zone. Let's see if he can make those safeties bite on things and get the ball out to Devontae Adams. So this will be a fun matchup. But as far as Matthew Stafford, and this being the last go-round or his last shootout at the OK Corral, it doesn't look that way. So whatever plans you had about restarting or reloading or rebooting, I think you should keep those on hold until we figure out where this train ends this year.
I know you want to jump in.
Yeah, so before I say that, I want to say when I talk about the back end, I'm not talking about the safeties. Because I think all three of them are playing lights out.
Q Lake is playing his butt off.
Q Lake is playing awesome.
Curl.
Kitchens, they're doing a really good job. I just think you have a rotation of corners that I think, again, we've seen it. That's it. When I talk about the offense, though, I thought the game plan against the Jags, and we talked to Sean about that, the wholesale changes that we saw, that is terrifying for a defense. When I can go 13 personnel, come back and go 11, go 10, go 12, go whatever you want, and you just move guys in and out, you could be a different 11. How do you coach against that? Because when you look at a defense, right, they're talking about, okay, when they're in 11 personnel, they have, Whittington, Adams, and Tutu, they like to do this, right? But then when they come 13 personnel, or they do that, it changes all your tendencies. And you can still run the same plays. And so I think what I learned from the first part of the season is the depth of the Rams can and will be a problem for a lot of teams. Now you got to continue. You can't turn the ball over, right? You can't in the critical moments.
It was the Rams' first turnover-free game,
and you scored, and it looked like it was easy, right? And so as long as you continue to take care of the football and you continue to have those wholesale changes,
make your kicks.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for a lot of people to stop.
You're buying that they're going to lean into this multiple identity, that they're going to continue to platoon at the skill position players?
I would hope so, but history tells me no. But I would hope.
Because there's advantages both ways.
Yeah.
When you substitute, so can the defense. And so for the better part of the McVay era, they've lived in this 11 personnel identity because they can then throw whatever pitches they want. They can go as fast or as slow as they want. And with Puka coming back, the team with Devontae coming off a 3-touchdown performance, it wouldn't surprise me if they just go all the way back into spamming those two and seeing if a defense like the Saints can stop it.
Right. I can see that as well. I just think, if you're, again, I don't want to look forward, but if you're facing the Niners, the game plan that you had against the Jaguars is probably better against the Niners than it is against the Saints.
In part because it involved Terrence Ferguson, right?
Yes.
I mean, I think for this offense to get to its highest ceiling, he's got a month, maybe two, to become the rookie menace that I think we all hoped he would be.
It will never be this good again, kid. If I was whispering in his ear, you have a Hall of Fame quarterback
unless you're
throwing
Green Bay.
to you and looking for you. It will never be this good again.
Unless you're the Green Bay Packers,
Right.
who's had 3 quarterbacks in the last 30 years
Right.
that play well. Like that's the only team that I can think of that's had 3 really good QBs in the last 25 years.
Right. But
right?
for right now,
Yeah.
you've got a hell of an opportunity.
And I think if you
Really.
keep running him up those seams and get him matched up, those are easy ways to get him going. But then eventually you're going to have plays off of that that's going to open up, and that's going to be another avenue to the game. But I think he needs to start getting. You can tell he's different than the other tight ends.
He's differentiated.
Yeah.
Like the touchdown builds confidence, right? It gets your quarterback's attention. But every time I talk to coaches around here about him, it's like, yeah, not just the plays that he's made. They've been limited so far. But look at when he's not getting the target, the easy separation, the timing with which he comes off the line. Look, they were very cautious about dropping names like Kelsey into his draft comp, right? But when you see the buzz that we saw at LMU when he shows up and he does some of the things that are his superpower, again, I think you need to get there sooner rather than later if you want to be that offensive team come end of year.
No question. Like I said, I think 13 personnel puts a lot of people in a bind with him there because that's a receiver, right? So how do you match that? Do you go base?
Safety.
And you put a corner on him? Well, he's bigger than him.
Right.
Right? Do you put a safety? He's faster, a linebacker. And then you still have the 2 other tight ends. It could be Higbee, it could be Davis, it could be Parkinson, and they're different guys. And then so to me, I think McVay's he's starting to unlock that 13 personnel where we could be in 13 and line up in 11 and have to give our guys a break if we want to. Still have Puka out there, Devontae, or you can go 12 and do the same thing. But it just that different look running the same plays against, like you said, like imagine if they're in 13, they trap the defense out there and you have Ferguson on a corner the whole time. Bet. That's 50-50 ball, which turned into pretty much a 90-10 ball. Here we go. Like
90-10 ball.
Doof, doof, doof. I'm gonna spam it, like you said, and then
Right.
we're gonna come out. Then we're gonna put someone fast. Tutu's gonna run. Like it just again, the depth that they have can really put pressure on people.
It's poignant too as Tutu goes to injured reserve for a month.
Right.
That in a different iteration of this offense, you might be like, ooh, now you're without the guy who can take the top off, and even if he's not getting targets, he's creating all those zones for Puka and for Devontae to feast. I don't sense that concern right now. No. And not to tie everything back to the trade deadline and what we talked about previously, but for multiple years now, we've said all of the resources are poured into this offense. That's where the picks are. That's where the dollars are. This needs to be an offensive-led team that's scoring 30 points per game. And there have been long droughts where that's not been the case. What if the skies are about to open and they are going to become that team offensively? Then maybe you don't need a top 3 defense in terms of touchdowns allowed and points allowed. I'm not saying that the bar should be lowered for them. I'm just saying maybe they are becoming the complete organization in the team that they drew up on paper this offseason.
You mean if the offense starts to score a lot of points, then you
the
can
offense you
can start
You
rushing the
go up
passer?
by 14 points, and then now we see what
you're
this
playing
defense
some
can
home
really do.
games with
Yes,
mostly Rams
please.
fans in
Yeah.
attendance, and then all of a
Yes,
sudden this thing
please.
looks like, oh,
Well,
okay.
and I think that's what we talked about in the very beginning of the season was if this offense can get you 10, 14-point lead, what can this defense look like? And we saw that.
And there has been some built-in scheduling luck up and down the Rams' first 7 games, and there might be more coming this weekend because you would love to have a rookie first-time starter see some ghosts at SoFi Stadium on Halloween weekend as the Saints flip to Tyler Shuck.
Yes.
Shocked by it.
You
but
are.
I get it. I mean,
The Rattler
You can't turn it over that much.
yeah. But
He's their best option, but you can't turn it over.
yeah,
like
you're
that.
right, and you're right. But you knew what you were getting into when you took this job, right? And I think people, it's like we have these unrealistic expectations, right? You have 2 young quarterbacks, and you draft a rookie who's played kind of all over college, and you expect them not to make mistakes. Like, so now we're gonna play this guy. It's kind of like the Giants was like, oh, we drafted Dart. We're gonna let him sit. Like, if you're gonna draft this kid, you should have played him right away. Because now you're bringing them in where people are starting to, like, I'd rather play a rookie early on because I know the defenses aren't fine-tuned. This defenses are starting to, like, figure things out. It's getting that time of year where people are starting to figure things out. You have tendencies. You have different things that you like to do. All of a sudden, now you're going to throw a rookie in there who's probably not going to read it the same way. I know you're going to try to get the ball out quick.
Which they've already been doing.
Yes.
I mean, Olave's getting less than 10 yards per reception.
And when they take shots, they throw it to Shaheed. Know, I know what you're trying to do. And like he's literally like getting the ball. Like they're throwing like hitches, all over the place for shut when he went in against Tampa. So to me, it's like, all right, like, so you put him in against Tampa, now you're going to start him against the Rams defense. Like, best of luck. That's how I see it.
But I was telling DeMarco that what scares me about this game is I can't find much to be intimidated by.
Werner, DeMario Davis, just giving you names.
Yeah,
Cam Jordan is always
there.
Can always be sneaky. They
Look,
have guys.
This defense is better than you think.
Gave Tampa
I have
hell of a day.
been there when you have to defend a turnover machine.
No question.
It skews your numbers, but if you go back and watch them play by play, they can get after you. Brandon Staley gets you to third down. He makes, I guess the antidote to his defense is elite quarterback play. Anything less than that, you're going to get hit, and they'll probably turn the ball over. This Saints defense is really good. Now, if the offense does its job, you'll force it onto a rookie quarterback, and then away we go. But if you're making mistakes, this defense can hang around for a long time like luggage.
So who's the double agent then? Is it Staley or is it McVay? Because you've practiced against each other multiple times for, what, a year?
Including this summer.
Yeah.
Some joint practices this summer.
So to me, it's like, I always believe if we ever played a coach that, like we played Greg Williams one time, who was with the Saints, I was with Jacksonville. He was in Jack. We knew exactly what he was going to do. Exactly. He's going to send blitzes, pressures. We know what beats his defense, what doesn't, what we had to get away from. And we weren't that good, and we took him to the wire. And the Saints this was Drew Brees' Saints. This is the Saints that were going to Super Bowls and deep in the NFC playoffs. But we knew what the defensive coordinator was doing, so we're on the offensive. We know how to, like, what plays work and what plays don't work. I knew that we would call a 5-man for our protection instead of, like, sliding one. We just call 5-man because we knew who was blitzing, and I'd just roll out. And then Jonathan Vilma would be screaming at me all the time, like, why aren't you picking up the blitz? Don't worry about it. Like, you got to cover. We're going to make you cover, right? So in my mind, it's like, is that Sean? Or is it the other way around where Staley's like, I've been practicing against this offense, OTAs, and then we did it this last year, and right?
Yeah, but he's not been practicing against, for instance, Stafford was not there that day this summer. He's not gone up against Devontae and Puka. He's not gone up against 3 tight ends versions of this offense. So I think Sean holds more cards, both personnel and scheme.
I think the more complicated Sean gets, the more simplified he gets. And I think the whole thing with him is going to be when he starts bringing pressure and how. You know what I mean? And what happens when you get to the red zone and how will you try to trick that up. But for the most part, they're going to know each other. It just depends on how you play. And what areas of the game or what positions Sean is going to try to attack that day. And let's see if Staley can make adjustments from there. But they're going to have notes on each other, but that means nothing once toe meets leather. You know what I mean? It's all about how you play that day.
It does, and I'll say this: what Devontae did last week with a single coverage, I don't see him single coverage in the red zone ever again. I wouldn't do it.
So then, what's the counter punch?
Is Puka on the other side to run the football? You decide.
What's interesting is Puka had become a red zone. The hard part about seeing him get injured on a fade ball in Baltimore was like he had been killing the red zone. They had unlocked the red zone. We saw some of those double slants. We saw them using his big frame, run and pass. So if you put those pieces back together now and you get the battering ram of Kyron Williams in your running game in short yardage situations, is that up and to the right?
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, and you add that to it, yes. At some point, you have no choice. You're going to go one-on-one as a defense down there because you're so close to the goal line. You got to stack that safety in to protect versus the run.
Though?
Oh, yeah.
Because then now it's again, the fade ball we talked about is not a 50-50 ball anymore.
Yeah, but you're going to have to at some point, and you're going to bet on your corner playing good positioning. I think you lose that battle. But I think at some point, every offense is going to get you in that spot. There's just no way around it.
Not only that, but when you look at the red zone woes from the first half of the schedule, you give me like 3 plays that I can circle and change the outcome of. They almost all involve 9 and Devontae.
Right.
It's like, give me this one at Philly, right? This one, they hit this 9 out of 10 times. I don't know why they missed it. Give me that one in the goalpost at Baltimore. And the whole game looks different. The whole stat looks different. And so if they're able to do it finally, click in the rain, on the road, in London, then I think there's reason to expect. Okay, yeah, there's reason to have very, very high expectations for the rest of this season.
I agree. I think it opens up the running game, and I think you force them because again, if I'm a defensive coordinator, and I'm looking at the Rams and what they want to do, especially this last game, we're going to stop the pass in the red zone. We're going to force you to. I want you to run the football. I know some coaches think it's unnecessary. I want you to run the football.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to let you get happy and throw fades, and I don't want Stafford to throw the ball, throw touchdowns.
Is there a danger in falling in love with the fade?
There's a danger in it.
No, God no.
There's a danger in it, but that's why if I'm a D coordinator, you're not going to get it. I'm not going to let you get it. I'm going to make you do like, oh no, hand the ball off. Stop the run.
When you get beat like that, the fear is always there, and you're going to be nervous as a corner, as a defense. So I would lean into that. That would be a calling card for me. You can even pencil it. If we get in this situation, the fade ball's coming. Like you said, 50-50. I got a guy I can trust that's going to put it in an area. Either he's going to get it or it's out of bounds. So I would definitely use that. But you said something that I thought was interesting. And I will take this as the second round of the Olympics. This running back situation. If you can become more explosive in the run game, plus everything else we just mentioned, then you start talking about an offense that's well-oiled and ready to go. So, and whichever back decides to take it over, I think there'll be opportunities for both. I wouldn't rule out a Blake Corum run. I wouldn't rule out Kyron Williams starting to tear it up. At some point, when you start to put that stuff on tape and you get Puka back, like you said, I think what's going to suffer is your run defense. Yeah. So if you can take advantage of that with a good running game that turns explosive, now we're talking. You're
saying you're going to get the light boxes again. You're going to get a ball-secure Kyron in the second half. You're going to get a healthy Blake Corum.
I hope you get that part.
And you're going to get Rob Havenstein back at right tackle, and you've got Steve back at left guard, that this should be the best version of the Rams running game coming down the pike.
I believe so. I absolutely. If you, like I said, there's some moments in that Jacksonville game that I call frameable stuff, to where an O-lineman or an O-line coach would stop it, look at it, and say, this is perfect. We're all stepping with the right foot. Haddon's on the right side, we're making the right reads, and our running back has an opportunity to make a play. That happened time and time again. They were stringing those plays together, moving the ball down the field. That stuff carries over. If you start to go from an efficient run game to a more explosive run game, I don't know how you defend everything.
So explosive being what, like 40-yard touchdown runs, or cause I don't know if that's in this backfield personally.
Yeah.
Like Jonathan, like when you look at Jonathan Taylor, that's completely different than what the Rams have, if that makes sense. I think that their explosive runs may be 25 at most, just because of the speed of their natural, like, top-end speed. But to me, that's all you want.
Yeah.
Right? Because
I don't care if you got to pinball it for 50 yards.
Like, if you could get 25-yard, 20-yard burst, maybe a 30-yard, or maybe Kyron does a great vision and cuts back and gets you 35. Like, that to me is what you're going to see more of, because of the way the passing game is looking right now.
So develop a bread and butter. Yeah.
Chunk runs, not necessarily house calls.
Yeah.
Just refresh runs. The downs.
Yes.
And if Kyron breaks a 60-yarder, then excuse me. Right? My bad. I just haven't seen it.
I can't wait for that show.
I just haven't seen it. But if that happens, oh my gosh.
Same time, same place next Thursday?
Let's do it.
MJD's apology tour?
Hey, it happens all the time.
There you go. If he scores from 60, you can dance. There. Don't hand it to the official. If he breaks off a long run, I want to see him do like a handstand in the end zone.
If he scores from 60, I may be in the end zone waiting on him.
Good. There you go. Let's get fined.
You got to love this this Selly game going to the next level, finally, for the McVay Rams. It's never been like this.
It's the youth movement. These young guys, like, I have a puppy. I just got a puppy, and I have this old dog. And it's like the old dog doesn't want to be a puppy, but he has to, because the puppy has all this energy, and he's jumping with him. That's Mumfield and all these guys celebrating. Everyone's doing the Sioux and all this. Like, that energy is contagious, right? And you see it around the league. You saw it with the Giants, with Dart and Scattaboo. Like, that energy is contagious. They don't know any better. They just want to have fun. I got my first touchdown, hey! And everybody's like, hey, I'll do it too, right? And then that celebration is just what you're looking for.
I was smiling until you said Scattaboo, man.
I know. That's tough.
Fractured, dislocates that ankle,
tough,
gets surgery in Philadelphia, and then guess who comes in next?
The battered
San Francisco 49ers.
They're both beat up.
For next week's show. Love you guys. Good to be back.
Good to be
Let's
back,
have a second
man.
half, huh? Hope to see you at SoFi Stadium this weekend. Good month of home games here. The Rams only leave the city, once before Thanksgiving? Don't leave the state until after Thanksgiving.
Come on, Rambly. Be loud.
For MJD and DeMarco Farr, I'm JB Long. I guess I'm wishing you a happy Halloween. Worst holiday on the calendar. Can't wait to get to November.
I'll take all the chocolate.
That's my third favorite holiday.
There you see, right there.
Top
Candy.
two are?
There you go.
Hanukkah and Christmas.
There you go.
Hanukkah
got you with the first one.
Eight gifts in a row is crazy.
Got you with the first one.
8 gifts in a row is crazy. I was like, yo, we got to figure this thing out.
I was thinking Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving's like 5th or 6th. St. Patty's Day is over Thanksgiving.
Oh my God.
Wow, too bad we're out of time. There's a lot more to dig into there. Thank you for joining us for a Saints preview and a fresh Between the Horns presented by your Southern California Toyota dealers.